Hey everyone, if you've ever watched the channel, you know I am fat and like to eat, and I was super excited when Crosley decided to send me two mini fridges to test. One is a 4.4 cubic feet, the other is a 3.2. Let's unbox them and see what's inside and what we can fit in them, because I'm getting hungry. So let's go ahead and take them apart and see what makes them tick.
The first one we are going to go ahead and unbox is a 3.2 cubic foot retro refrigerator. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to look like before unboxing it. And with the top open, the collar on this mini fridge is just wild. I don't know if the camera can really do justice on the collar. I think they call this a mint green, and it's definitely the most retro color you could have come up with. Holy cow. With it unboxed, I have to take a peek on the inside real quick, even though I want to get to the other unit pretty fast. We'll get to the specs on this in just a moment. Now, on the 4.4 cubic foot model, it won't throw us for the same kind of collaring fit as it's in the American Tribute line from Crosley, so it should be closer to the deep freezer that we are also testing and reviewing on this channel. With this unit unboxed, here's a quick peek on the inside of the unit as well, and we'll get to more of this in just a minute. For the mint green retro refrigerator, here is a closer look at the inside. It has adjustable glass shelves that measure about 15 inches wide and 11 inches deep. The sides of the mini fridge allow you to adjust the shelves quite a bit to suit your needs as well, so you can fit a lot of different things into the fridge. It has an adjustable temperature control and a storage bin at the very bottom that could be removed if you needed to. The storage bins on the side measure just under 15 inches wide, and they are 3.5 inches deep. They're removable but not adjustable like the primary shelves. Also, both of these refrigerators have adjustable feet on them as well in the front. Finally, the refrigerator has a chrome door handle that can be installed by screwing in two Phillips head screws like you see here on the camera. On the Crosley 4.4 cubic foot refrigerator, the shelves are a little bit wider at 17 inches and 11 inches deep. It also features a manual cold control thermostat and a removable bin at the bottom of the refrigerator, rather similar to the mint green unit. The door bin can hold a few different things, but they're not similar to the other fridge. It has a top shelf for eggs, an 8-can holder on the left side, and then two bins for smaller item storage. And if you enjoy what you're seeing so far with these refrigerators, make sure to check out the links in the description to view and buy these units wherever they are sold from Crosley. Now, my favorite part of the process of reviewing, voiding the warranties. The 3.2 cubic foot unit has a cage on the compressor that I want to see what's behind because the large one doesn't have it. But once you remove this cage, the units are oddly identical. The soldering jobs on both of these units is very clean, and the compressors are made by Donper and not GMCC like their freezer are, so it's a different manufacturer. They produce units for Siemens, Whirlpool, Haier, Hisense, Midea, and Crosley as well as it seems, so it's a very popular company that does refrigeration. Next, let's investigate what's behind the back wall of the unit where the shelves are. I saw 4 screws on this to hold it in place, and I kind of want to see what's behind it. When inspecting the units, I also noticed there's a drain hole, which makes me wonder a defrost heater as well. Behind the plate, there's, well, nothing. There's a wire coming in from the top of the plate that we're going to inspect in a minute. It looks like the plate is just the entire evaporator system which absorbs the heat to cool the refrigerators down. It's a very simple system, which means there's less moving parts and less to go wrong. Next, I want to see where the wire that goes into the plate ends up at, so let's remove the top 2 screws from this cold control system. And once we remove them, we slide the housing forward, and here we go. This is pretty awesome to me, at least in my opinion. You may not care, but it's an electromechanical cold control, and it's about as simple and reliable as one should come. The small wire coming out of the cold control is a thermostat that when it reaches the right temperature that you dial in, it shuts the compressor off. You don't have to have any computer boards in this refrigerator at all to make it run, which is great. The 4.4 cubic foot fridge is nearly identical in the regards. It has the same plate system and a very closely identical cold control system, but the housing's a little bit different. Let's take it apart and see what's behind it. As you can see here, it has a traditional cold control system that's identical, but it has a light bulb system in it behind the cold control. Another thing that I want to note on the American Tribute, the 4.4 cubic foot model, is that the hinge system is quite a bit different, kind of like most larger model fridges, but it will swing out much further than the mint green model. I really like this because it allows for easier access to items in the door and on the inside of the fridge if you have room for it to swing out quite a bit. How large, though, are both fridges in terms of storage capacity? Let's visualize it with a test. I went to the store and bought a ton of pop to load into the fridges. I did a similar test to this last year with my grandma's old GE refrigerator from 1950, which is pretty fun to test the electrical consumption of it and some other refrigerators. I'm going to include a link to that video in the description where we tested the fridges and how much electricity they used, and we can gauge that on these refrigerators. Now that they're fully stocked, it's becoming clear though that I'm going to run out of cans before I run out of mini fridge space. All in all, this 3.2 cubic foot refrigerator can store about 69 cans of Mountain Dew. Nice. Since I'm going to run out of pop, I gave up on this test with the larger fridge. Unlike the smaller one though, this can actually just hold the entire cases of pop easily, as the extra 2 inches of internal width ends up being just enough to store these cases without having to try to fit them in. This fridge isn't quite as conductive to soda pop because of the doors, but it could easily beat the lime green fridge in an egg storage contest, among other things. Now with everything loaded, let's go and plug both refrigerators into the wall with kilowatt meters to give us a test on each of the fridges. Another thing that I want to notice when the units are plugged in is the really nice LED light on the 3.2 cubic foot model. The 4.4 has a more traditional light bulb, which works pretty well, but I like the LEDs on this retro refrigerator a little bit more. And also, while we do the electric test on both refrigerators, I'm going to go ahead and throw a temperature data logger in the mini retro refrigerator. We're going to test it at the same amount of time and see what the cold temperature variation is like on this refrigerator, and we'll leave these fridges go for, again, 2 days.
So we're at the 72-hour mark, not the 48-hour mark, on both of the refrigerators, and we have found some interesting numbers on the power consumption. The lime green or mint green refrigerator has used about 700 watt hours to get cool, and the larger 4.4 has only used about 550 watt hours of electricity. Why would the smaller refrigerator use more electricity? Well, it's because of what we put inside. We put 69 cans of soda pop in this, and we only put about 48 in this, so that's why there's a difference in power consumption. But ironically, the little cards on these show that the larger fridge is actually a little bit more efficient, which is kind of surprising. I'm not sure why that's the case, but they both worked really, really well in our tests. We did get the sensor readings back on this one, and the temperatures held amazingly well in this. It only varied about 1 degree plus minus temperature, which I'm actually surprised at given there wasn't a fan in it. Overall, I'm really happy with the tests that we did on these refrigerators. Really, the biggest test you can do with the mini fridge is just use it. And it's been really convenient to have these over here. I definitely would recommend these refrigerators, and you can always check the links for an Amazon link. But also, if you have a local Crosley distributor, sometimes you can get better deals from them locally. If you have one, I know in my area we do, and they're great to work with. Now I just got to figure out what to do with 96 different cans of Mountain Dew, because I don't actually drink a whole lot of Mountain Dew anymore. Well, see ya.